All right. So in the previous video, we were looking at passing data between pages. Now let's take a more in-depth look of working with data and passing data within a page. If how do we pass a data to a pop-up? How do we pass a data to a repeating group? How do we pass data to groups, groups within groups, floating groups? Let's just shuffle data around and learn more about it because it's a really powerful feature. So first, let's try and we're going to use menu items for this. Let's try and so how many menu items? We have apple juice, amazing chips and nuggets. Let's create another one. Uh, hmm, Mango shake. It's quite hot here. Then we didn't enter the price. So now price. Now this restaurant menu item is this menu item is not linked with any restaurant. Now this is an issue here. Okay. Now there are two ways that we can link these. Okay. One of the ways would be that we add in restaurant one, in the list of menu items, we add them all here. That's one way. Okay. The other way is in the item itself, we add an extra field, which is the restaurant. I personally tend to prefer avoid lists for various reasons, and it's a bit of a roundabout way of thinking about it. But I'd like to add the what it's related in that item itself. So each item should know. So the mango shake should know I'm part of restaurant one menu item, not that restaurant one knows, oh, this mango shake is mine. Okay. So in items, we'll just add related restaurant type. Now we've added a custom type. We have restaurant here. And in our privacy rule, type owner view, we should tick restaurant and price as well. Here, let's just add them to, okay, this actually expects a long unique ID. The unique ID will be this. Not intuitive, but let me just show you that there is a way around it as well. So that's gonna connect it to restaurant one. That's quite hard to read. So we're just gonna click this little magnifying glass here, and we're gonna change item. We can change what do we see in the database. Do we see the unique ID or do we see something else? So for restaurants, I'd like to just see the name of the restaurant. For items, I'd like to see the name of the item. Okay, so all of a sudden now I see, okay, restaurant one. So apple juice, restaurant one, and we've got amazing chips and nuggets, restaurant two. Okay, so now we've linked our items. So these two items are restaurant one, this item is restaurant two. Okay, so now we had our restaurant menu page, and let's begin with a simple repeating group. How do we display this restaurant's menu items? Okay, so we're gonna do a search for items. We're gonna do a search for all items in the database, but we're only gonna constrain it that the related restaurant is equal to my current page restaurant. Don't show me anything else. Okay. And text field, current items, name. That should be good for now. Let's just make it simpler. So let's see, what do we see? Restaurant one, Birmingham, UK, repeating group, apple juice, mango shake. So we managed to use current page restaurant in our page as part of a repeating group. How about a pop-up? Okay, so let's add a pop-up here. And we're trying to understand how do we pass data between groups within a page. How about I want to open a menu item in a page. Okay, so now what would be the type of content of this pop-up? The type of content would be the menu item. Okay, and when I want to create a button here to view item and start edit workflow, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna show a pop-up, and then I'm going to display data in a pop-up, and I'm gonna pass the current cell item. Okay, so what this does is when this button is pressed, it passes the reference of this item to the pop-up. And once I'm in the pop-up, the type of content is item. I can see here parent group item. So it doesn't say current page restaurant. It's the current page is a global page reference, but parent group item, okay, name, or parent group item price. Okay, let's see what this looks like. So if I'm clicking this view item, apple juice 10, mango shake 9.99. Okay, if I switch to debug mode true and show step by step what's going on, step by step, view item. So button view is clicked, show the pop-up items. There's nothing visible in the pop-up because the data hasn't been passed yet. Okay, display data in pop-up items. Now that this action ran, oh, so this pop-up has the data reference passed to it. Now it will work. Okay. What else can we look at? We can look at floating groups. Floating groups are interesting groups as well. Let me try and see if we can background flat color. Let's make it a bit of a different. These are commonly used for left menus, or right top menu, left menu, widgets, sticky. So let's float it to the top left above elements, and let's just say we have this random sidebar which describes the menu. So okay, let's put the menu here as well. Item, and inside we're just gonna display parent group items name, parent group items price. This is very rash, the color, so I'm gonna pick something else. This is much easier on the eyes. So top left, top right, let's move it to the right. Okay, so now this is my pop-up button. Let's try and view item floating. Okay, so start edit workflow, show an element, floating group, and display data, current cell item. And in my floating group, I need to create a cross icon, close, which will hide this floating group. So is this group visible by default? I think we need to, this visible on page load. See, there's no data passed, so there's nothing here. So if the moment I click here, the data will be passed, and then the data will be visible in this group itself. Apple juice 10. This, close it, show it. So we're passing. It may not be visible in the video, but there's a subtle glitch sometimes that we saw the. Okay, I'll describe how. Like step by step. Let's view apple juice. So show floating group. Now look closely. It says mango shake 9.99. That's because the previous data is still in the floating group. Okay, and the moment it's like, okay, run next, display data apple juice 10, and that's how we're kind of seeing data within the floating group. The next group type, you could choose focus group. Okay, focus groups are fun as well. Focus groups are, you reference them to a particular element, and if I reference them to items, again, type of content, item, text, parent group item name, parent group item price, and let's just okay, let's add another button, view item focus. So again, it's quite similar. Show an element, focus group item, and display data, current cell item. Focus groups are special. They close by itself when you don't have to create, like, somewhat similar to the floating group. But see, if I click outside, they'll just hide. So they're nice for like tooltip type behavior. This is nice for like sidebar behavior, and this is nice for pop-ups as well. So just as a recap, what have we done? We've learned how to pass data within a page. First, we passed the current page restaurant to the repeating group so that we view less data within the page, and we also passed data around different pop-ups, group focus, floating groups. And within, let's just say, for example, this we add a group here. We missed the one of them. So the group has a type of content items. Now the data source here that I can pass is parent group item. This will automatically inherit the parent group item into the child group, and I can copy paste these inside, which will just show the same data in here as well. Because within groups you can inherit, or you can use the workflow action. So this one's inheriting the moment the pop-up gets it. Okay, the group will just inherit the reference here. All right, so that's it for this video, and looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.